$50 Shades of Grey. Look, I'll do this because it's a review, so I'll do the official really quick rundown of what it is in case you live in a hole. $50 Shades of Grey is a novel by E.L. James that supposedly, probably, definitely started as Twilight fanfiction. It then became really popular as an ebook. People started calling it mommy porn. It's about a billionaire named Christian Grey, played by Jamie Dornan, and a young, recently out of college girl whose name is ready for pornography, Anastasia Steele, played by Dakota Johnson. I always want to say Dakota Fanning, but it's Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson.
She goes to interview him for her friend who's sick. This is like the first thing that happens, and they cannot resist each other, and they fucking. The issue, the conflict, is that he is into BDSM.
Basically, the movie alternates between him buying her something, them having sex, him buying her something, them having sex. Then it escalates to points where it's going to actually affect her tax return. Yeah. First of all, I think what people really want to know about 50 Shades of Grey is, I'm only seeing this movie for the sex. Will I get my $12 worth?
Right.
I feel like if you're looking to get your $12 worth, you're gonna get like $10 or $11 worth. Maybe 9, like...
Yeah. If you read the book and you're expecting as much sex as the book, you're gonna be disappointed. There's not a ton of sex. It's 120 minutes long. I'd say about 20 minutes of it is sex. There's enough. It's well done. It's probably the only time in the movie that the two of them have any chemistry at all. So if you're looking for a ton of sex, I'd say out of $12, you're gonna get $8 worth of sex. If you're looking for kinky sex, you're gonna get like $1.50. Because other than a couple of ropes and some like whips that he doesn't really use, there's not a lot of BDSM in their sex. My biggest problem with it is its horrible portrayal of BDSM. Not only do you not see any of it, but that's fine, whatever. It's a little bit more vanilla for broader audiences. The only reason that he's kinky is because he has all of this baggage and trauma. And the movie kind of hints at a more interesting story where she's a virgin and she's unexperienced and she goes through this for him, and he's willing to budge a little bit but not enough, and she kind of comes into her own, and possibly in a sequel like she becomes the dominant and she goes into this like on this journey. But that's not what happens. This is a story about a girl who turns a rich kinky guy vanilla because he's like really up, and his only way of expressing really up is this like sex thing, which isn't even that up.
Yeah, no, it's catering to a mainstream audience who thinks they want to see BDSM but doesn't really want to see BDSM.
Right.
Not unlike the Anastasia Steele character. The initial interview between Anna and Christian is just needlessly innuendo-laden. Like, no conversation has involved so many pencils and mouths.
I'll give Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson this amount of credit. The writing is absolutely horrendous, but it's exactly what you expect absolutely horrendous. She's given lines that she can, as an actress with a decent amount of comedic timing, like pull off, and they're funny. Like almost all of her lines are funny. And he is 100% ridiculous fantasy lines. Like, I don't make love, I f*** hard. It's kind of sucks for Jamie Dornan because they both clearly had a really hard time trying to portray either of these characters with the lines they were given, but his were so much harder to make sound realistic. Then he comes off completely stilted and just like pretending to, like, kind of high school play acting.
Well, I feel like that gets to the point of one of the things that's wrong with this movie, in that it has no plot. Like, which is fine for NC-17 fan fiction. You do not read it for the plot, you read it for the graphic descriptions of f***ing. The story of 50 Shades of Grey is not brave enough to make any of its characters flawed enough to put an actual conflict in there. Like, she has another friend that has a crush on her. That could be a source of conflict. His inability to deal with that jealousy. They just forget about that. She's
curious about the BDSM, and she ends up really enjoying it as far as he takes her, but she's conflicted about it. That could be three-dimensional interesting, but it's not.
All in all, like, this movie should be super awkward to go see with a coworker, but it was so hilariously over the top in various points that it couldn't be awkward because we were literally laughing at the screen.
And that's where, like, I can't go all the way to saying, like, this movie's so bad. Because, look, it's awful. The writing's bad. The directing isn't good. They have zero chemistry when they're talking to each other. Their chemistry is pretty decent when they're naked and having sex, but when they're talking to each other, they have no chemistry. And there's so many problems with this movie. But there's also no way to take it seriously, right? It's softcore porn turned into, like, mainstream popcorn movie. And so it's funny, it's awkward, it's fun, it's bad, it's really easy to make fun of. And because of that, it's actually weirdly enjoyable to watch.
If you're gonna see this movie, 2 drinks. 2 drink minimum, seriously. So let us know if you're gonna see 50 Shades of Grey, or if you have already, let us know what you thought in the comments below.
Make sure to like and subscribe for more awesome movie content here on CineFix Now.